Tied up at 14. McNally's the target, going to the outside. A nice block by the Beavers. That one does not drop in though, so it will be the Cardinals taking a 15-14 advantage. Rosso will be back to serve for the Cardinals. This one drops short. Bates was the target. That one goes long, and they're calling no touch on that one, so it will be an attacking error for Sidney Mites. Now a 2-point advantage for the Cardinals. The Beavers having to crawl their way back in here. Brockney on the outside attack, gets that one to drop, points to Jilly Jansen saying, beautiful set, that's exactly what I was looking for.
And the Beavers inch themselves ever closer to, once again, a tied game.
Bates checks out as McCauley checks back in. It'll be Brockney on the serve for the Beavers. Floats it to the back row. Outside attack coming straight into the block and down. Kyla Vaughn and Sidney Mites. That's two freshmen right there picking up a block.
And that is quite the excited reaction from the Beavers there. I just love seeing our team get so excited over those kinds of points.
You can hear it from the student section too. Beavers hoping to feed off of this energy that they're getting from the student section. Brockney with a beautiful dig in the back row. It's going to be McCauley on the attack through the block and down. Beavers with a 17-16 advantage.
Just as we were talking about in the pregame, since we've been talking a little bit about the atmosphere, I'll just elaborate upon that a little bit more. The atmosphere in here is something that the Beavers feed off of during the game.
Rachel Brockney with the serve. A little out of system here. Free ball coming to the Beavers. Something they need to capitalize on. To the outside to Kyla Vaughn. Able to get that one to drop. Beavers with a 2-point advantage. Late in set number 4. St. Mary's calls a timeout. Beavers now
with several members of the crowd on their feet.
Something the Beavers needed in that moment there. Let's take a look at that replay once again from that attack from Kyla Vaughn. As you can see, Jilly Jansen setting it over. Kyla Vaughn running, using the block to her advantage. Nothing Rosso can do there, as that came off the block a little wrong, a little bit of a weird angle right there. So for the Beavers, you see them splitting themselves up into those 3 separate huddles once again. If you're head coach Will Bauman, who's talking to his middles right now, what's your message to them?
I mean, sort of like what you were saying earlier, I think it's incredibly important to keep in mind that they're still in this. I mean, that's sort of been the message across both teams this entire game, is we're still in this because both teams have been in this the entire time. And so, I mean, if I were the coach, I think that's something I would be saying is you're still in this. And I mean, I don't know as much about volleyball strategy as that man does, so I couldn't tell you what he's saying in that regard. But in generalized things about sports, I would say, you know, you're still in this, and now it seems like some of those huddles have merged, so.
As for St. Mary's on the other side of the court, I think the message stays the same. Each team, this has been a back and forth set, but it hasn't been back and forth 1 point like we've seen all match. It's been back and forth on runs. A team will go on these 2 3-point runs that will then lead them to a couple point advantage. It's going to come down to who can maintain that advantage.
Rachel Brockney back to serve once again. BVU ahead 18-16.
Middle attack coming for the Cardinals as they're able to do what they did last time when they called a timeout, was strike early once again, seeing if they can tie this one up. Now 17-18 in favor of the Beavers. It'll be Devin Clemens making her way back there for the Cardinals on the serve. Serve clears the tape. Brockney receives. Jensen sets it up to a push over from Mites. Diving play from Rosso keeps that one alive. An outside attack coming off the top of the block. And we are tied up at 18 apiece right now.
Once again. Seems like it's just been tie game after tie game.
It truly has. As a towel is coming back out onto the court once again. This time it isn't the Beavers. It's the Cardinals that are calling for a little bit of a wet spot out there on the court. That looks like that's where Rosso just dove that previous play. So,
you know, I said it earlier and I will say it again. Imitation, the most sincerest form of flattery.
Devin Clements for the Cardinals, still back behind the service line. The sophomore stands at 5'7" out of Chatfield, Minnesota. Jansen sets it up for Mainz into the block. Still able to keep that one alive, though, is the Cardinals. Free ball coming over to the Beavers. Pushing it over to McCauley on that one. That one is able to drop. Beavers able to grab the advantage once again. Courtney Johnson will check in for Sydney Mainz as Johnson will make her way back behind the service line for the Beavers. So the Beavers hoping to close this one out and force a decisive 5th set.
Once again, serving to Kiara.
Vaughn digs, Jensen sets, outside attack coming from McCauley. That one goes right back over though. Beavers getting a second chance. Back row attack coming from Rachel Brockney. It's gonna be a free ball. Oh, miscommunication over there by the Cardinals. It was the libero, Lindsay Rosso, who was calling for it, but it was Brenna Butcher who didn't notice it, went for an attack to try to tip that one over. Beavers now take a 2-point advantage here late in set number 4.
Almost bonked her upside the head.
Bretcher on the attack, this up into the block and down. Kyla Vaughn once again. Look at that reaction.
She was all about that block just then. She loved every moment of that.
Not too often you see Coach Will Bowman fired up like that as St. Mary's takes their second timeout. Let's take a replay of that once again and see that reaction from Kyla Vaughn.
I would love to see it again.
As you see coming up straight into the block, Kyla Vaughn, boom, there it is.
She loved that. She
Julie
was
Jansen,
all over
Molly
that ball.
McCauley, once again, this place just erupted after that block.
Slamming that block down like a hammer. Beavers once again split up into their 3, actually I think they're in 4 huddles now.
They have enough players for it.
Yeah,
that's
certainly.
For sure. But now one of the biggest leads recently here in set number 4, Beavers with a 3-point lead right here. But what St. Mary's has been able to do out of these timeouts is claw their way back in. It seems like the Beavers not quite able to continue that momentum out of these timeouts as St. Mary's jumps early once again. So if you're the Beavers, you have to try to take advantage of this.
Score now 21-18 with the Beavers in the lead.
Beavers currently on a 7-2 run as we sit.
Looking at the graph on the statistics there, it's always interesting to see I guess the best way to describe it is sort of like a little diamond shape as you see the different increases in the teams, and you can see just how those different runs have been going.
That one tipped over. Beavers still able to keep it up. Outside attack coming from McCauley, who gets a soft touch on that one. A tip coming over into the block. Skylar Cole keeps it alive. Courtney Johnson pushes it to the outside for Kyla Vaughn. That goes into the tape. So like we just mentioned, it's St. Mary's who's able to get the point out of the timeout.
Molly Benzie coming back in.
Allison Wu makes her way behind the service line for the Cardinals. Brockney is the target. Outside attack coming from Skylar Cole, uses that block once again. When you have Skylar Cole on that outside right there and she gets that running start, there's not much you can do.
I think all you can do at that point is just hope for the best.
Mallory Ignacheski checks in there for Kyla Vaughn as Ignacheski makes her way behind the service line. Beavers have 3 points to go to close out this set and force a decisive set number 5. Ignacheski dives to keep that one alive, sets that one up. McCauley tips that one, and that one will drop. So the Beavers now within 2 points of forcing set number 5. Gretchen Bedgran will check in for the Cardinals. I believe the first time she's been on the court tonight as Faith Van Erp, the number 2 ranked 2nd in the nation in D3 for total assists, checks out of this game. That serve there from Mallory Ignacheski goes into the net. Not what you were looking for the Beavers, as that kind of kills the momentum that they had. Beavers still with a 3-point advantage, though, as Olsen on the serve for the Cardinals. Ignacheski is the target. Jensen sets it up to Skylar Cole on the attack on the outside, trying to cover that block, but not quite able to do so. Cardinals showing a little bit of life here late in set number 4.
Starting to get a little bit fired up. You can see that reaction from the team there.
going to be head coach Will Bowman taking a timeout for the Beavers, as you can feel that momentum shift a little bit.
And there are officially no more timeouts in this set, so after this timeout, we are going until someone wins this set. Coach Baumann bringing everyone together now for an all-team huddle. You know, this game has been pretty long, and I think I might be getting a little bit hungry. So you know where I think I'd want to go?
I heard there's a good pizza place in town.
There is still a good pizza place. It is still there. Be sure to head on down to your hometown Pizza Ranch after the game today at 517 East Milwaukee Avenue in Storm Lake. Enjoy a delicious buffet with a great selection of pizza, chicken, and a full salad bar. Be sure to try the buffet at Pizza Ranch as well, because it is fantastic. And actually, I forgot about this. If you are a BVU student, you can actually get a discount, and you only have to pay $10 for that buffet. So there is great specials at pizzaranch.com, and it is also a great place to work.
Fantastic work environment in there at Pizza Ranch. I always love the smiles that you have from all the people who bust the tables and everything, all the servers and everyone. I appreciate going in there and seeing that that welcoming smile that Pizza Ranch has to offer.
And big shout out to Pizza Ranch for being willing to feed us for these BVTV broadcasts.
Exactly. Keeping us happy, because the last thing you want is a grumpy commentator. Back underway here in set number 4. Do or die time for the Beavers. Have 2 points to close this one out.
There's a bit of a hold up there.
Now we're getting ready to go underway. It's Olsen back there for the Cardinals. Targeting the back row. Miscommunication from the Beavers right there between Molly Benzie and Mallory Ignacheski.
Kind of rolled off the arms there a little bit.
So now it is a 1-point game here. Beavers need to make something happen right here. Targeting the same location again. Not the best touch from Benzie. Outside attack coming from Skylar Cole. Still able to get a good touch on it is the Cardinals. Beavers still cover. Tipping it to the back row is McCauley. A beautiful touch there from the Cardinals, but the Beavers able to get that one. Set point goes to the Beavers.
And the crowd goes wild after that point. There was an explosion of sound in the gym after that.
Faith Van Erp checks back in for the Cardinals here as Molly McCauley makes her way behind the line for the Beavers. Set point to the Beavers. Have to go to 5 if the Beavers want to come out with a win tonight. Tipping it to the back corner. That one drops. So now it's 23-24. Head coach Will Bowman not happy with that call from the up ref, because he saw the push there, wanting a little bit of a call here. Cheering on his Beavers. Beavers have to get the point here if they want to go to set 5. Skylar Cole on the attack, tips that one over. The block able to get that one to drop.
We're
tied
going to
at
keep
24.
going. Reminder, it is a win by 2 situation here.
Faith Van Erp behind the line for the Cardinals. Sends this one over, targeting McCauley. A little tight to the net. That's Julie Jansen who pushes that one over. Beautiful heads-up play by Jansen.
And the student section was all over that ball. They are ready to see the Beavers close out this set with another set point. Molly Benzie back to serve.
25-24, Beavers within 1 now. Cardinals hoping to stay alive and close out this matchup. On the attack, up the middle, pushing that one up. Ignacheski there. Rachel Brockney pushes that one over, able to keep that one alive though. Free ball coming to the Beavers. Ignacheski to Jansen, over to Cindy Mines on the slide, keeping that one alive. Beautiful dig back there from Rosso. Outside attack from McNally. Beautiful dig from Molly Benzie. Rachel Brockney on the attack, still a nice dig from Rosso. Outside attack. That one goes long, point goes to the Beavers, who take set number 4. We are going to play 5.
That was such a fantastic point. I think that point on its own is a perfect encapsulation of everything about this game and how it's been so far. Beavers take this set. Let's get a replay and look at some of that again, because that was absolutely insane.
Looking off the attack here, goes long, no touch right there. You saw Molly McCauley, who was gonna go and touch it right there. Beautiful to pull herself back, have that self-discipline, and let that sail long.
She ducked out of the way as if we were in the Matrix. That was awesome.